Hey everyone, it's your host, Cyber Gaming Studios. We're doing something a little bit different today because I wanted to mix my channel up a little bit differently because, as I said, I wanted to change my channel to be something a little bit different too, so I can bring more entertainment to you guys. Now, I want to say that I do support police officers. I don't support defunding the police. I don't support, all this racism and stuff like that. I don't support any of that. What I do support is if an officer is in danger of their life and them using lethal force against an individual who is coming at them with a deadly weapon, especially if the officer in question is telling them to drop the weapon in their hands and to surrender because they were in an accident. Now, the individual that we're going to be talking about is a Los Angeles police officer called Tony McBride, as you can see here for those who are deaf, who need to read their name. This individual is this police officer is one of the highest rated police officers for her accuracy and her and the amount of dedication she puts into her job. Now, the reason why I'm making this video, because I watched this video entirely in full integrity, and I'm not going to play any audio of this video just to avoid copyright, but I wanted to say that if anyone who's trying to, this is under fair use, and I'm able to use it as long as I bring my commentary to it. So I am doing that in this video. So in this video, this lady, who you see, this is the officer in question, is being sued because for using unlawful and lethal force against one of her family members. And I'm gonna explain to you. Look at this. If you can see, I'm not gonna play any video, but I'm gonna play a short clip. I think it's right here. You can see that that's an individual, and you can see that it also has captions. She tries to, as you see, he's coming up with a knife, and she tries to tell him to put his hands down and drop the weapon, and telling the bystanders to move out of the way because they don't want to see them injured. As you can see, she's telling him to drop the knife, and when he keeps going closer, she finally pulls the trigger and kills the suspect that you see in this video. Now, the reason I'm saying that suing the officer in question over because your family member was under the influence of meth, he was in an accident, he was cutting himself with a knife, and then coming at an officer with a knife, thinking that it's okay, it's okay to come to a police officer with a knife, especially when there's citizens around him that could also be injured as well by this individual, and as well the officer in question being injured by this individual. Think about that. You can't sue an officer, if they're literally following protocol and they're doing their job appropriately. Even the lawyer that in this video that is handling the lawsuit for the family of this individual, of this person who was carrying a knife, said that in the video she followed protocol, she didn't do anything wrong, and the lawsuit is pretty much ridiculous. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, I support this video. I support that the officer in this video did the best and appropriate actions to de-escalate the issue. The family, I believe, I forgot. I want to know. I want to show. Is this lady? I think this is the sister or mother of that individual who was holding a knife. Was trying to say to everybody that what the officer did was unlawful, and it could have been de-escalated much differently than what it could have. What is shown in the video. Now, I'm going to explain to you guys a lot of psychology here, and I'm not no psychologist or anything, but if you're a individual who is under law and who risks their lives to, I don't do any of that. I'm not a police officer, so I don't risk my life or anything like that. But I'm talking about, I'm making an example if, like, for somebody who is risking their life to protect you or to protect other people or to protect and serve the community. And a person is coming with to them with a knife, a gun, any kind of weapon of sort in their hand, and they're specifically told that to drop that weapon or whatever weapon they're holding, and they don't do it, and they keep coming towards the officer, they're going to shoot. It doesn't matter whether if you're going to de-escalate or not. They could use a taser, but you're not going to grab a taser if you're not going to grab immediately a taser, especially if you don't have one on board on you. And you're most likely officers are trained to have lethal force. So even if they had a taser, they're going to shoot you, either her or somebody else. One way or another, it's going to happen. And in protocol, I believe that what this officer did was actually a good thing. It wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't anything of racism. It wasn't anything of anything like that. All it was that it was an individual who was under the influence of drugs who immediately holding a knife coming at the officer, and the officer did what she had to do and put the dude down. I don't agree for the family of this individual to sue the Los Angeles Police Department simply because they felt threatened. They felt that just because he's holding a knife, you shouldn't have shot him. There was other ways to escalate. What can you do? What can you do to de-escalate a situation? Nothing. Because when you have a person who's in influence of drugs, such as especially meth, their mind is not gonna be in their right state of mind. They're gonna think about what their mind tells them. You can't de-escalate a situation when it comes to a person under the influence of drugs, because when you're under the influence of drugs, and you may correct me on this, I know that I'm pretty much correct about this. If you're under the influence of drugs, you're not 100% there. You may be some percentage of there, but you're not 100%. And your mind is not all the way there. So you're gonna think stupid decisions instead of the most appropriate decisions you do. So that's what this individual did when he came with a knife towards the officer. And you can see he's pointed right here, and she holded a gun to him. She tried to tell him politely to drop the knife multiple times. Not once, not twice, not 3 times, more than 5 times she has told him to drop the knife. He kept coming, and that's where it comes to where it involves lethal force. Now, I don't know about you guys, but there is no such thing as racism in here. I don't think there is no such thing as unlawful force, lethal force. I believe the officer did the appropriate actions and protocol towards this individual, and I feel that if you're gonna do drugs and get in an accident and then pull a knife and expect that the officers are not gonna go easy on you, they're gonna go easy on you at first. They're gonna try to escalate first, and that's what this officer has been trying to do. She's been trying to de-escalate so it doesn't get worse, and he kept coming. So the only thing that she had to do was put him down, and I think that she's a hero for that. I don't know about you guys, and I know some of you guys may be offended about this, but listen, would you, even if you're not a cop, would you want to die? Would you want a guy to come with a weapon towards you and the intent of harming you? Would you let that guy harm you, or would you protect yourself in any means necessary so you don't die and that person gets justice? Even if it's like, say, for example, you're defending something from someone from the third party, like a child or something, or you're protecting yourself. It's under the Second Amendment. You have the right to bear arms, and you have the right to protect yourself in any means necessary. And this is a perfect example of that. And I wanted to make this video because it frustrated me how people like this individual, Marina Varga, his sister apparently, can just go out there and just try to get clout, just simple because she believes that you could just escalate a person who's under the influence of drugs and as well carrying a weapon that could harm the officer in question. And I think this person, I want to say to this person, if you're watching this video, which I don't care if you do, um, I want them to let them know that you can't sue the police department simply because you believe that they did an unlawful and lethal force against your brother or something or wherever your family member because they were under the influence of drugs. And as well, who was also in an accident. You can't de-escalate if someone who is under the influence of drugs and then expect to have the results that you want. It just doesn't make any sense. And the video that has been taken, because whenever a crime is committed, police officers have a camera on their body and as well in the car. So whenever something happens, like like this situation, they can have enough video evidence to prove what really happened, and it can help also well the justice system to decide whether okay, if it was unlawful or she did the appropriate action. So people can't make stuff up to say, oh, they did this, and then they immediately go towards the person who is suing or whatever decision. I just think that this lady needs to rethink her mind and say, you know what, I think that yeah, it was messed up that they did do that, but if I understand that she's just a sister and she's looking out over her brother, but you have to think he did have a weapon. He was coming at a person who was born in this planet on this planet to serve a purpose, and her purpose that she was doing was protecting the citizens of Los Angeles from being harmed, and she didn't do anything wrong. This person, individual right here, is simply just how you say incompetent. I want to say she's incompetent because she's not understanding how things work, and she just wants to make a clout so she could become famous, just simply because she felt that just because she lost her front of her family members, she has a reason to sue. And I disagree that everyone doesn't have the reason to sue just because you feel like it. You have to have a good reason. You have to provide enough evidence to prove your claims, because if you don't, this suit is not even worth it, because not only you're gonna have to pay additional court fees, but you're also gonna have to pay the damages that you caused that under an individual in that lawsuit for coming there and having to waste their time that they could be doing something else or protecting other people, while all you wanted was money. And that's how I feel. If you guys did enjoy this video, I will leave this video in the description so you guys could definitely check it out. I think it's pretty. I think it's pretty like horrible that this person right here, Maria Navagra, basically just suing the Los Angeles Police Department simply because this officer decided to follow protocol and do her job appropriately. And this has nothing to do with racism. It has nothing to do with Black Lives Matter. It has nothing to do with that. This is just a situation where it became to where one individual was had drugs in his system. It was under the influence of driving, got in an accident, cutting himself, and was coming out with a knife towards the officer to harm with the intent of harming the officer or anybody around him. And I think that this lady did the right thing and to protect herself and everyone around her, and I applaud her. Don't be a dildo and to be a douche to be like sue this individual or the police officer in question just because you want money and you felt that it was a great opportunity to use your brother as an excuse to sue the police department. You have to have a valid reason, you have to have evidence, and you have to prove that she did have that person or officer in question did use unlawful lethal force against your family member. I just don't agree with it. But either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys did and you guys want to see more of my opinions and bullshit against any other videos, let me know in the comment section below if you like these videos, and as well like this video as well and share it with your friends. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.